Hey everybody, it's Abby. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to be doing the last update of my Project Pan Roulette before the finale. So I'll have another finale in a couple weeks, or not another finale, the finale in a couple weeks, but today's just going to be the last update before then. So I changed a few things between now and the last update. Of course, I can never stay consistent with Project Pans. So I'm just going to go through like I usually do, starting from the first thing and then going all the way down, just so I can kind of recap everything. So the first thing that was on my list was the OCC Pool Boy pencil. I got rid of that in the second update just because I didn't like it. It was too thick to use as eyeliner. Like, it was painful almost to use. It wasn't really creamy. So I got rid of that. And then the second thing was the Kat Von D, the eyeshadow in Harlow from the Ladybird palette, and I actually did hit my goal of hitting pan on that in the first update. The number 3 is the Pacifica Compassion Passion lipstick, and I am actually deciding in this update to go ahead and stop with this one because it's not my favorite, and I really don't want to force myself to use things that I don't actually love and want to use all the time. So I'm calling this one done. I'm going to very carefully show you where I am because I actually broke this one. Like, it's broke off at the bottom, but it's still like sticking for now, but if I put pressure on it, it'll fall. So I used up pretty much half of it in this project, which I think is good. It's a lot for a lipstick, especially if you have a lot of them. So I'm going to just put this in my, not necessarily in my empties, but I'm going to put it in the bag with my empties to show at the end of the year, and then actually you can recycle these with Pacifica now. So I'll just clean it out at the end of the year, or I'll clean it out at some point, and then put it and send it back to them for recycling, because I just learned the other day they posted on their Instagram that 2 of these little lipstick tubes can make 1 razor, which they partner with this brand called Preserve that makes recycled plastic razors, toothbrushes, like silverware, stuff like that. So I am going to go ahead and send this back. And then number 4 is the e.l.f. contour palette, the highlight shade. So let me show you that. So here is that one. Last update I had just a small circle of a pan, and now I've been working on this upper corner, so you can see it's kind of expanding up that way. Probably not going to be able to finish this by the end of the project, just because that's a lot of product still. Like, I've not even used maybe half of it. But I also kind of don't want to use it too fast because this is my only contour palette that I have. I got rid of the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, so I might make this last a little bit longer until I can get a different one. The next 2 were from the Kat Von D palette, also Cleopatra and Wolf. I decided to stop with those last update just so I could focus on my Pan That palette. And then number 7 is the OCC Skin Concealer. I got rid of that in the first update just because it was not very good at all. And then number 8 was another one from the Kat Von D palette, the Fear Elise shade, and I stopped with that one too. And then number 9 is the Milani Shadow Eyes in Cafe au Lait. I've only used it once since the last update, so I'm not going to even show the progress because there is none. So yeah, this is definitely not going to get finished by the next update. I've used it maybe 3 or 4 times in a row over the past, the course of this project, and it doesn't really budge any, so this is lasts forever. So I'll probably just keep it in my stash after this project and figure out what I'm going to do. If I'm going to keep it or get rid of it or what. Number 10 was in this this palette too. It was this shade right here, the bronzer shades. This one I used for contour, this one I used for bronzer. And this was almost gone, and I just threw it in because I drew a free product from my little bin of, I wrote down the products as the point of this thing, is to randomly pick them, and so I drew a free product. I put in 2 of those, and I picked one that was almost done. And then number 11 was the Milani Luminoso blush, so I wanted to use up half of this. It's getting harder to open for some reason. I don't know if you can see that or not. I think I was able to see it last video that I edited, but I'm kind of using this half right here, and you can see some of those little squares on the tile that it's on. So I can see just a little bit of progress from last time, but not much. So I don't think I'm going to be able to use half of it, but I'll definitely get a good bit of it gone. And I can actually mark this one, so let me do that. So this is the only thing that I'm using, or I'm seeing consistent progress on, is the Tarte Smooth Operator loose powder. I think it's my last Tarte product, actually. So there are the lines of it, so you can see where I started, and then each update, it's pretty much even as far as the progress. I feel like I used a little more this time, though, even though that doesn't really show, just because the product is wider, you know, so it, like, as it goes down, it gets different amounts, you know what I mean? So I think I used a lot this time because I started doing the baking thing. I didn't really do it as heavily as some people do, but just a little bit, because with these ColourPop concealers, I have to bake them with like a wet sponge just to get them to not crease. So that's what I've been doing with this powder. And once this is gone, I'll move on to my Kat Von D one. But yeah, I'm just wanting to use this up and get it gone. And then something that I actually used up and hit my goal on is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. So as you can see, maybe, there's like a teeny tiny bit left in there, but it's not really enough to do a whole face, I don't think. And the way that this is, I have one of those little spatulas you can put down in products to get more out, but the hole of this is not big enough for my spatula to go into, so I'm just gonna call it done on that one. So pretty excited. So you can see the lines there. Where are they? Right here. So this will be in my empties. 14 was the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Primer. I decided to stop with that one and just give it to someone before I use too much of it, so that one's gone. And the things that I added last update were Pacifica Nudie Red. Now I cannot find this. It must be like in the deep depths of my purse because I have no idea where it is. And I mean, it's exactly the same packaging as this one. But yeah, I just decided to not continue with that one either, just for the same reasons as the Compassion Passion one. I'm just going to go ahead and recycle it and use things that I like more, like liquid lipstick, even though I'm not wearing a liquid lipstick today. I'm wearing the e.l.f. lip balm SPF that I had in a haul recently. And this one I didn't even mark just because I was afraid I was going to break it like I did the other one. But it was the Wet n Wild Gel Lip Liner in the shade Never Petal Down. So I used it like 2 or 3 times. It's just a little too pink for me. I don't know why I kept this shade over another one, because I had 4 of these and I got rid of 2. But the reason I'm getting rid of these and trying to use them up, they're brand new, but they are not vegan. I did not even notice that when I bought them. I just kind of skimmed over the ingredients, thought they were, but apparently they're not, so bummer. And then things that I added in between now and the last update, I've started on them. So this is the NYX HD powder. I hit pan on it a little while ago, but I'm just going to finish that up because I don't use NYX anymore. And I'm kind of going back and forth between this one and the Tarte one for my under eyes. I've tried using this one all over my face, but it's just so bad of a flashback. Like I look like more of a ghost than I already am. So I'm not going to use this on my whole face. It might take a while to use up as an under eye thing. Also, I do use these. I forgot about that. So I use both of these interchangeably to set my primer. So if you have really oily skin, you may want to try to put on primer and then put on a translucent powder. Just kind of pack it on. If you have one of those poofs like that come in powder, sometimes I would recommend that. If not, you can use a brush or whatever you have. But it sets the primer and then kind of gives your foundation more of something to stick to. So I found that's helped me. I'm actually going to test that out side by side. 1/2 my face using the powder and 1/2 just normal. So we'll see how that works out. I don't know when I'm going to do that. Probably sometime soon. And then number 18 is the NYX Total Control Drop Foundation. I used it today, so it's been shaken, so I can't see where it's at yet. But this line is where I started with it when I added it in. So I hadn't used that much of it. But, I mean, I think today it was about to there. About to there where my nail is. So, I'll see progress next update for sure. Or finale, I mean, you know. And the last thing that I added in was the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. I just wanted to get some use out of this and be done with it. because I have the new ColourPop ones, and I have the Kat Von D one, and the Ulta one, and a bunch of Wet n Wild ones, so yeah, I don't even know why I bought this in the first place. I knew that I wasn't going to want to use Urban Decay anymore. Although this is probably one of my favorite concealers, but just because it doesn't crease on me like as easily as some other ones do, and it's a really good shade match. But if I can find another one that's similar to this, even though I have a bunch already, after I use some of those, maybe I'll try to look for one that's similar to this. Just this one is really thin and kind of dry for a liquid, which if you've ever used a product like that, you know what I'm talking about. But my other ones, like the ColourPop and the Kat Von D ones, are really creamy, so they can kind of crease easily. That's why I have to bake with a powder. But yeah, I'll be sad when this is gone, but I'll kind of be glad at the same time because I don't use Urban Decay anymore. So that was it for this one. I'm not adding anything else. I'm just going to work on this stuff for the next update, or the finale. I keep saying the next update for the finale. I'm almost done. I have hit my goal on 3 products. Was the Kat Von D Harlow eyeshadow, and then the e.l.f. contour powder, and then the Too Faced Born This Way foundation that I've actually used up or hit my goal on. So hopefully that I can use up at least one more, or hit my goal on one more by the end. Because I wanted this pan to go from February 1st, and then I wanted to go for 3 months, or when I use up 10 items, it was first, so 3 months is definitely first. And I have 8 products that are still in progress right now, so then after this one is done, I will kind of give myself a break for a little while and use some of my new products and kind of revisit some old ones, and then I will start a new project in, I don't remember when I wanted to start that, because I talked about it in a video previously. So the finale for this one's going to go up on May 21st, and then I'm going to start a 5 by fall on July 13th, so I'll have like a month and a half or so to kind of do whatever I want, and also focus on my Pan That palette. So that was it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it was helpful, entertaining, at least. And I will link below my playlist for my project pans. They start from this, it starts on the intro to this project, and then it goes through this update, and then it'll go to my the intro of my last project, and all the way through the finale, and like backwards like that, but also still in order, if that makes sense. I try to keep it updated in the right order, so it makes sense when you watch it, instead of watching the finale first and then like the last update and the second update and all that stuff, you know what I mean? So thanks so much for watching. If you're not already, please subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, and let me know what you want to see next, and I'll see you then. Bye.